Hi friends, I have another craft for you today. Today we are going to do a winter twine tree. Isn't this cute? Especially if you have several different sizes that you have stacked in a display. Super easy, it won't take us any time. What you need is like some construction paper or cardstock, or you can use a styrofoam cone. And this one is flat on the top. So I actually made this tree out of this cone. But I had to put on the top, I had to make another tiny cone out of construction paper in order to make it tall enough. But then I'm thinking everybody doesn't have cones at home, so we'll make our own. So my second tree is made out of just construction paper. So you just twist it, and I'm going to tape it. Make sure it doesn't pop off on me. So the main time sensitive, or the thing that uses the most time in this craft, that's one way to do it, is drying, because we are going to use twine and we're going to use Mod Podge. Or you can use whatever glue you've got that is dries clear. That'll work too. So then we're just making a cone, and you make sure this is nice and stuck on there, and then it sits somewhat straight. You put it on a plate. Yeah, somewhat straight. Smooth this out just a little bit. So you can use yarn, regular wool, some people call it, for crocheting, or you can use twine or something in between. So I'm using something in between. So this first one I did is pure twine. There we go. But the second one I'm doing is made out of this stuff, and it is a really coarse yarn, I guess. I would think it's kind of mixed twine and yarn. I don't know officially what this would be, but I just happen to have it. It's really coarse. You would not want to have it up against your skin, I don't think. So I'm not sure what its purpose is. But I know you can also do it with just regular old yarn that you have at your house. Changing up the colors and stuff would look really cool. So this is saran wrap, and I'm just wrapping it around so that we can get this back off. That's a good idea, isn't it? So the neat part with this is that we can stuff it up underneath. Just like this. And then we've protected our cone, and we'll be able to pull it back off. Mod Podge. And I am using a sponge applicator. I am going to just wrap it around and put it up at the top. I'm going to go from top to bottom. And obviously we won't have time to let this dry. At least let it dry a few hours. Overnight's great. So see how I have it on there? I just looped it around. I did not make a knot. I'm going to flatten that out. Then I'm going to add some Mod Podge. So this is one way to do it. I'm putting a little bit on the cone itself, and then I'm going to wrap around. So you wrap a little bit, dab a little bit, wrap a little bit, dab a little bit. And that's how it works. So I'm just going to start wrapping. So I'm going to wrap all the way down and all the way back up, just kind of haphazardly. I'm holding it right here while I add more Mod Podge, and I'm just dabbing it on there. So I have some underneath on the bottom so that it'll help hold. And then I'm putting it on top. And I'm gonna go down and back up and down and back up. And you just add as much as you want. See that little stick that's hanging out? I'm gonna cover that right back up. But the key is to make sure you do a lot at the base so that it'll hold. It'll hold itself up. So I'm not gonna go all the way down, but I am gonna make a nice area and see how I'm crossing over just crazy. I'm gonna hold it and put some more paint on there. I mean paint. I'm not painting today. I will put more Mod Podge on here. I'm gonna make sure everything's covered. And I'm just dabbing it on there. I guess you could paint it on there in strokes, but it would make the fibers of the yarn kind of stick up a little more. So just a combination is probably a good idea. And make sure the bottom down here is tight and has good Mod Podge on it. And then when you get it as full as you want it, you cut off the end. I was just holding this tight. I'm gonna come back down. You cut off the end and you put a whole nother coat all around it. See how this is all just kind of crazy? You can do it in a pattern if you want. I like it all over. You are going to see the glue in between the layers. It makes it like a glistening kind of frost look on it. That's why it's perfect for winter. I'm making this one pretty full. Ooh, I like it. Isn't that cute? Let me pull this over so I don't make too much of a mess. And then I am ready to put one big old layer of Mod Podge on here. We're going to snip off the end and let it dry. But since we don't have time to look at all that and wait for it to dry, and I'm not going to use a hairdryer today. Can you believe it that I'm not using a hairdryer? You could speed it up some with the hairdryer if you need to, but really the best practice is to let it dry by itself on this one. But there is another way you could do this. You take the yarn or twine or whatever you're using, and you have a bowl of Mod Podge, or you can use the glue that dries clear. You just need to water it down a little bit. And you dip the yarn or twine into the Mod Podge bowl, and then you take your fingers and you scoop off the excess. You know, drag your fingers down it, scoop off the excess, and start twisting and wrapping your tree. This is less messy. So this is the route I chose. But they both work great. All right, that is more than enough. I'm gonna snip off my end. Don't need this anymore. Then I'm gonna make sure I have my edge where I want it. Did I cover up the top one? Yep, that's it. It is going to sit here and dry. But while we put that over here, look, I did one earlier. So I did the exact same thing. I did exactly what we just did there, except magic of television, it dried. And so now we're gonna take it out. So I had tucked this under, right? So I'm gonna pull it up. And I'm gonna loosen up. I'm pushing in my cone. Oh, and it just fell out. Let me tell you, this is so much easier than the styrofoam cone because I had to really work to get that tree off of there. So I just start loosening it, and you saw the cone just came right out, and it is in great condition. I can use it again. Now I'm just pulling out the saran wrap. Hold the top of your tree a little bit so we can get the tip out. See how it's coming out of the top? I'm just pulling all my saran wraps out, and ta-da! We have a bigger tree. Here's the difference. This one's twine, a lighter green. Was made on a cone. Worked just fine. This one is made out of that same dark coarse stuff. Isn't that awesome? And they sit up just fine. They hold themselves because we made a thick base. And that's it. You can make them out of all different colors and sizes, and then you could make yourself a display. It's fun, it's simple, and it's really pretty. And that's it. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you'll make your own, and we'll see you next time.